This is the titans of industry. Here are the most powerful families who built their fortunes during the Gilded Age. Cornelius Vanderbilt, the Commodore. No name embodies the Gilded Age quite like Cornelius Vanderbilt. Born in 1794 on Staten Island, New York, his life was a microcosm of the era's extremes. Starting with nothing more than a ferry boat, he established a shipping empire that defied the odds and rewrote the rules of commerce. As the son of a farmer, education was not a priority for Cornelius. Instead, he learned the ways of business from his father, who operated a small ferry service. However, when his father fell ill, the 16-year-old Cornelius took over the business. And within a few years, he expanded the operation beyond the ferry routes. He started transporting passengers on Long Island Sound to places like Orient Point, Sag Harbor, and other destinations. In 1811, Cornelius made a bold move. He purchased a steamboat named the Thomas Jefferson and named it the Commodore, a moniker that stuck throughout his life. With this vessel, he began a new enterprise, offering faster and more reliable transport between New York and nearby ports. Despite facing opposition from well-connected steamboat operators, Cornelius persisted. He invested his earnings back into the business, adding more ships and expanding his routes. By the late 1820s, he had transformed the shipping industry. His fleet was legendary, consisting of 300 sailboats and 40 steamboats, carrying 10,000 passengers daily. But Cornelius wasn't content with just success. He wanted absolute dominance. His entry into the lucrative but cutthroat Hudson River trade marked a turning point. Traditional river boats charged exorbitant fares, treating the route like a toll road. But Cornelius Vanderbilt had a different vision. He introduced steamboats capable of making the trip in record time, cutting prices to just $2 per passenger. This drew criticism from established players who labeled him a pirate, even going so far as to start a war. Yet Cornelius thrived on challenges, and instead of backing down, he redoubled his efforts. As older vessels aged or broke down, he replaced them with larger, grander ships. His flagship, the steamboat aptly named the Great Western, exemplified this approach. Built in 1838, the ship measured a colossal 100 feet in length, 20 feet wide, and stood 3.5 stories tall. Could carry up to 1,000 passengers, unheard of at the time. Cornelius continued to expand his empire. He ventured into the U.S. mail service, winning lucrative contracts that further solidified his wealth. As his fortune grew, so did his influence. Wielded it not just in business, but also in politics. In 1865, Cornelius faced his most significant challenge yet. When President Abraham Lincoln proposed the Transcontinental Railroad connecting the Mississippi to the Pacific, Cornelius recognized the potential impact on his freight business. Acting quickly, he consolidated his assets and in 1866, merged with 4 other companies to form the New York Central Railroad. This railway became the backbone of the nation's commerce, facilitating the swift movement of goods across the country. However, despite his business acumen, Cornelius's legacy was not without controversy. He pursued his goals with a fierce determination that left many rivals in his wake. Some viewed him as a symbol of the Gilded Age's excesses, amassing immense wealth, while others struggled. Yet there's no denying his impact on shaping the economic landscape of the United States. Andrew Carnegie, the Steel King. Andrew Carnegie's journey from penniless immigrant to steel magnate is a testament to the opportunities and challenges of the Gilded Age. Born in Scotland in 1835, Carnegie immigrated to the United States at the age of 18, initially working as a bobbin boy in a textile mill. His ambition led him to become a telegraph operator, a job that would prove pivotal. Through hard work and frugal living, he saved enough money to invest in a railroad. This venture led him to meet influential people in the industry, including Thomas Scott, the president of the Pennsylvania Railroad. Under Scott's mentorship, Carnegie gained valuable insights into the railroad business. However, when the Civil War erupted, Carnegie's future took a decisive turn. Recognizing the urgent need for iron and steel products for the Union Army, he secured contracts to supply them. This strategic move catapulted him into the steel industry. Carnegie's initial foray into steel manufacturing was modest, but his vision was expansive. He understood the importance of controlling every aspect of the production process and set about building a vertically integrated empire. He began by purchasing iron mines in the western United States, ensuring a steady supply of raw materials. Next, he established steel mills in Pennsylvania, strategically located near the mines and major transportation routes. Carnegie's leadership was marked by innovation and efficiency. He implemented groundbreaking technologies such as the Bessemer process for steelmaking and focused on continuous production. Stark contrast to the traditional batch production methods. His operations were also highly organized, kept detailed records, employed accounting professionals, and paid close attention to financial management, a practice that was unusual in the loosely regulated Gilded Age economy. These operational improvements translated into lower costs, which enabled Carnegie to undercut his competitors and rapidly expand. His steel empire grew, satisfying the voracious demand of the booming American economy. Carnegie's empire reached its zenith in 1901 when he sold his holdings to a group of investors, led by J.P. Morgan. The deal valued Carnegie Steel at a staggering $480 million, an unprecedented sum at the time. Carnegie's story, however, wasn't just about business. He was a staunch advocate of philanthropy, famously stating, "The man who dies rich dies disgraced." He believed that the wealthy had a moral obligation to use their fortunes for the greater good. Carnegie established libraries, funded universities, and supported cultural institutions, leaving an enduring legacy of public service. John D. Rockefeller, the rich man. John D. Rockefeller was a man of profound ambition and calculated risk, traits that marked both his meteoric rise and his controversial legacy in the Gilded Age. Born in 1839, Rockefeller's journey began humbly, reflecting the realities of the era's socio-economic landscape. After a brief stint as a produce dealer, he entered into an innovative partnership with Maurice Clark, establishing a commission business that redefined efficiency in an industry plagued by inefficiency. This collaboration marked Rockefeller's first step towards reshaping industries and accumulating substantial wealth. His pursuit of perfection led him to adopt accounting practices unheard of at the time. He kept meticulous records, reconciled accounts regularly, and diversified his investments, setting the stage for his future success. Rockefeller's path to greatness was marked by his relentless focus on reducing waste and increasing efficiency, a theme that would resonate throughout his career. His entry into the oil business was not a hasty decision, but a calculated move informed by extensive research. Seizing on the burgeoning oil industry in Pennsylvania, he chose Cleveland as his base. Recognizing its strategic location and logistical advantages, unlike his contemporaries who were often hands-on operators, Rockefeller preferred a more discreet role, allowing skilled managers to oversee day-to-day operations, while he focused on strategy and expansion, understood the power of public perception, and cultivated an image of integrity and honesty, a reputation that helped him attract investors and maintain public trust. Rockefeller's empire reached its zenith with the creation of the Standard Oil Company, a feat that epitomized his strategic brilliance and the spirit of the Gilded Age. His empire stretched across the nation, dominating nearly 90% of America's oil supply. However, his success was not without critics who accused him of monopolistic practices and underhanded tactics. Despite the controversies, Rockefeller's impact on the Gilded Age economy was undeniable. His innovative business practices and relentless pursuit of efficiency not only shaped the oil industry, but also left an indelible mark on American capitalism. The titans of industry. During the Gilded Age, these titans of industry built vast fortunes and reshaped the American landscape, each in their own way. Their stories serve as a reminder of the complexities of the era, a time of remarkable innovation and grit, but also of immense inequality and exploitation. As we wrap up our exploration of the titans of industry, consider this. Their rise to prominence was a product of their time. The post-Civil War era presented a unique confluence of factors: a surge in industrialization, rapid urbanization, and a growing consumer market. These titans capitalized on these trends, introducing groundbreaking technologies, expanding markets, and reshaping industries. Yet their success came at a cost. The Gilded Age, while glittering on the surface, was marked by stark contrasts. The opulent mansions and lavish parties of the wealthy elite stood in stark contrast to the harsh realities of factory life for many Americans. The titans of industry, in their relentless pursuit of growth and profit, often overlooked the human cost of their endeavors. Child labor was rampant, Working conditions were dangerous, and the gap between the rich and the poor seemed to widen with each passing year. Despite these shadows, the legacy of the titans of industry remains a subject of fascination and debate. Their accomplishments in business and their contributions to the growth of the American economy are undeniable. They pioneered new industries, created jobs, and spurred technological advancements that changed the course of history. Figures like Carnegie and Vanderbilt not only built vast fortunes but also reshaped the very fabric of American life. Carnegie's innovations in steelmaking laid the foundation for the skyscrapers and bridges that defined the modern skyline. And Vanderbilt's vision for a transcontinental railroad brought the nation closer together. And yet, it's essential to acknowledge the darker side of their success. The robber baron image that many of these titans came to embody highlights the stark inequalities of the era. The ruthless business tactics, the exploitation of workers, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few cast a long shadow on their legacies. The public outcry against monopolies and calls for antitrust regulations signaled a growing unease over the titans' unchecked power. The lives of these titans offer a compelling study in contrasts, a blend of ambition, KOH, innovation, and ruthlessness that defined the spirit of the Gilded Age. They were men who dared to dream big, who saw opportunities where others saw obstacles, and who took risks that redefined the boundaries of success. They were also men who operated in a time when the ends often justified the means, when the pursuit of profit was considered a virtue, and when the accumulation of wealth was seen as a measure of greatness. As we delve deeper into their personal lives, we uncover more facets of these enigmatic figures. Carnegie's passion for philanthropy, Rockefeller's quiet intensity, and Vanderbilt's larger-than-life persona all offer glimpses into the complex individuals behind the business empires. Their struggles, their ambitions, and their flaws make them more human, more relatable, and ultimately more fascinating. But it's their impact on the world that truly sets them apart. These titans didn't just build businesses, they built empires. They expanded markets, created industries, and reshaped economies. They were visionaries who saw possibilities beyond the horizon and whose ambition knew no bounds. Their names became synonymous with their industries. Their faces adorned magazine covers, and their words carried weight in the halls of power. Yet their legacy is not without its complexities. The titans of industry were products of their time, a time when wealth was concentrated in the hands of a few, when social mobility was limited, and when the gap between the haves and the have-nots seemed to widen with each passing year. They embodied the contradictions of the Gilded Age, an era of dazzling innovation and stark inequality, of breathtaking progress and deep-rooted exploitation. In the end, the titans of industry stand as both a testament to and a critique of the Gilded Age. They personify the era's relentless pursuit of growth, its embrace of capitalism, and its celebration of success. At the same time, they embody the darker aspects of the age, the concentration of wealth, the disregard for workers' rights, and the widening chasm between the rich and the poor. Their stories serve as a reminder that the pursuit of greatness often comes at a cost, and that the true measure of success lies not just in wealth and power, but in the impact one leaves on the world and the legacy one leaves for future generations. Thank you for watching.